Hello, all you lovely people out there. How is everyone doing? I'm Kate Hill and I'm here, as always, to give you the best and unbiased and honest commentary about the property markets, along with fantastic hints and tips. Today, I have got an area feature for you, and this time it is the Sunshine Coast in Queensland. Now, if you want to download my free area report for the Sunshine Coast, then click on the link in the description below. I will share all the stats, housing market details, and what makes this area so compelling. Okay, so where are we? We are north of Brisbane CBD. It's about an hour and a half by car. You can also fly directly to the local Sunshine Coast Airport. Now, as a quick summary, it is Australia's 10th largest city. The Sunshine Coast Council area is a rapidly growing residential and tourist region. It was independently ranked as the second highest performing regional economy in the state of Queensland for 2013 and 14 and 14 and 15. The economy is worth approximately $21.5 billion, and it is predicted to grow over the next 20 years, estimated to reach $33 billion. There is significant investment in the region, with many infrastructure projects already complete or underway. Local industries have broadened over the past decade away from just tourism, with growth in new industries such as health, education and professional services. Vacancy rates are very low, with most suburbs with a rate of less than 2%. It's a very stable area with great growth potential. The Sunshine Coast property market produced quite remarkable price growth in 2020 and 21, boosted by the strengthening of its economy and major spending on that infrastructure. There are few growth drivers that stimulate property price growth like major new infrastructure spending. It also generates jobs, economic activity and improved amenities for residents. In the past 5 years, 20,000 jobs have been created on the Sunshine Coast, bringing new residents to the area, and this process is set to continue. Over $20 billion in major infrastructure projects and private investment is either completed, under construction or in the planning pipeline. Work on the new 53-hectare Maroochydore CBD is now well underway and includes office, hotel and residential buildings. With the Sunshine Coast International Broadband Network now in service and a new runway launching the local airport into international status, the Sunshine Coast can expect to operate on a global business level. The 2032 Brisbane Olympics will include multiple events on the Sunshine Coast and will inspire further investment in infrastructure. With a robust economy that has averaged growth of 4% per year over the last 15 years, well above the national average, opportunities to invest wisely continue to present themselves. Now, in terms of some of the highlights that interest property investors, we have got that new city centre being established through a 20-year project in Maroochydore. Construction of the first buildings is well underway and includes office towers, a Holiday Inn hotel and residential high-rises. The $2 billion tertiary teaching hospital, it's enormous, which opened in April 2017. The Sunshine Coast Airport, which has been expanded to create an international airport. An upgrade to the Bruce Highway in this region costing $1 billion. In total, over $20 billion in major infrastructure projects and private investment have been recently completed, are under construction and are also in that planning pipeline. The Sunshine Coast Enterprise Corridor represents the key locations for expected residential and commercial growth over the next 20 years. More than 150,000 additional people are forecast to be living here by 2031. Over 35,000 businesses are registered here in a range of industry sectors. The Sunny Coast's industries are now very diverse, making it very resilient to economic ups and downs. It has come in leaps and bounds since it was mainly a tourism region. The Sunshine Coast University Hospital project has been described as the Sunshine Coast's coal mine. The economic benefit from the construction phase alone was estimated at $2 billion. It forms part of the Oceanside Health Hub, a $5 billion health district, estimated to create 3,000 jobs every year for 15 years and 12,000 ongoing jobs. The hospital opened in April 2017 with 5,000 staff. Numbers are expected to reach 7,500 staff. Since the hospital opened, the Sunshine Coast has been named among the top 3 boom areas in Australia for health and social assistance jobs. The Sunshine Coast is tipped to attract almost 6,000 new jobs in that sector over the next 5 years. Now, tourism, of course, remains important. Vast tracts of world-renowned beaches are complemented with that plentiful array of other natural attractions with lots of national parks. There's also Australia Zoo, Underwater World and Australia World, Aussie World, while visits from cruise ships are becoming more frequent. In 2022, the Sunshine Coast was named and rated the world's most loved tourist destination in a new study called the Tourism Sentiment Index. The study was compiled using data from billions of online posts about travel experiences. Tourism creates 17,500 direct jobs and a further 8,000 indirect jobs, with a combined total representing 16% of the regional workforce. Now, the region has major shopping precincts, including Sunshine Plaza, the 7th busiest shopping centre in Queensland. A $440 million expansion welcomed the Sunshine Coast's first David Jones store when it opened in March 2019. Another is the Kawana Shopping World, which has recently also undergone a $73 million upgrade. UE Insurance opened its global headquarters here in 2018 and has 1,300 employees. The Sunshine Coast will play an integral role in the Brisbane 2032 Olympic Games and will be home to 4 key venues and several sporting events during the Games, including football, basketball, the marathon, mountain biking, cycling and kiteboarding. The Sunshine Coast will also host multiple days of road-based events like the marathon and road cycling during those 32 Paralympic Games. Population growth on the Sunshine Coast has been above the national average since 2001. It has been one of the fastest growing areas in the country over the last decade, and this is expected to continue. The population is expected to grow to 580,000 people by 2041, representing the 4th fastest growth in the state. The current demographic is beginning to change, and growth is more likely to be experienced in the number of younger people moving. The Sunshine Coast recorded the largest growth in migrants from the capital cities in Australia, being up 24% in the March quarter of 2021. And this data is backed up by the October 21 edition of the Domain Queensland Spotlight Report. And according to that report, 66% of domain inquiries relating to Queensland property are now coming from New South Wales. Crucially, it is people in their prime working years, aged 25 to 44, that are the biggest interstate group moving to Brisbane and the Sunshine Coast. After the Sunshine Coast property market defied the COVID-19 pandemic, producing record growth in both sales numbers and price rises in the second half of 2020. By the end of 2020, the majority of suburbs in the Sunny Coast, LGA and Noosa Shire were rising markets in terms of sales volumes. Rents are also rising rapidly, an outcome that can be largely attributed to the level of spending on those major infrastructure projects, bringing new residents to the region at a time of low vacancies. This continued throughout 2021, and the Sunshine Coast continues to be one of the nation's outstanding performers on price growth. A CoreLogic report shows that in the 12 months to January 2022, that the Sunny Coast was the fastest selling region in the country, with the median time on market for houses being just 15 days. Inquiry levels from Victoria, New South Wales and Brisbane remain strong as prospective buyers seek a lifestyle change. The Sunny Coast has a strengthening economy, boosted by spending on, you've guessed it, new infrastructure, as it transitions from a tourist town to an international city. Now, don't forget, if you want to download my free area report for the Sunny Coast, click on that link in the description below. I will share all of these stats, some housing market details, and all of those reasons why it makes the area so compelling. And remember, everyone, like I always say with these reports, different areas do different things at different times for different reasons. Not all property markets perform the same all of the time. It is not cookie cutter. I'm going to talk to you about all things property throughout our year, so don't forget to hit subscribe, click my little like button if you are enjoying all the free content, and I will see you soon. Bye.